What's up, guys? So, just gonna make a quick video. Again, if you're new to the channel, this is the only other video you've seen of ours. We're not professionals, and nothing we do is a tutorial. This is just we like to document what we do. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So we thought maybe this would be helpful. I might make this its own video, or it might show up in Project Frankenchop, our ninja-powered bobber rat bike here. That beauty might show up in one of those videos, or it might be a video of its own. Anyway, we didn't have spark on the bike, couldn't figure it out for a long time, thought it was coils, thought it was spark plugs, thought maybe it was just wiring because we wired the bike, and that usually means something's we usually do stuff wrong. So anyway, we finally figured out that it was the spark plug caps. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with these. They're pretty common on motorcycles, especially these long ones that go down in the top of the head. But anyway, I'm going to show you today what we did to get these things reading from open circuit right back to 4.67 kiloohms, which is right in spec, and we once again have spark. So, rock and roll. Okay, again, pardon the rain noise. Can't really control that, and I don't have super fancy stuff, so if it's really loud in the background, I apologize. So the first step is, so this one still has the boots and whatnot on it. This is what it looks like once you have the boot off. And what we're going to do first is just flip our multimeter to ohms so that we can read resistance. And I'll show you, you can see, well, it's better on this one. This boot is hiding this. Can you see that? Yeah. So we're just going to stick a prong up in there and touch that, and then we're going to stick a prong where the spark plug wire goes in. Yeah. So one prong on that end, one prong on that end, and we're going to see what we've got. And as you can see, open circuit. Can you see that? Yes, open circuit. That's no good. That's why we don't have spark. Because even if the coils are telling the spark plug wires to tell the spark plugs to fire, we don't have continuity between where the spark plug wire goes in. Whoop. Maybe, come on, there it is. Where the spark plug wire goes in, and where the top of the spark plug actually connects. Again, it's that. So anyway, what I did was obviously take this boot off, and then for this type, and I don't know that all of them are like this, but for this type, you can see that there's a little like snap ring or circlip, maybe you'd call it. Can you see that? Right here. So it's not going to focus with my hands like this, but look there. There you go. So first things first, we got to pop that out. So I'm just going to use a little flathead, actually a little broken flathead. And they're pretty easy. It doesn't really require much, at least for this type of bike. These are off of an 88 Ninja ZX750f, in case anyone's curious, but I think they're all pretty similar. So you just pop that guy out, and then you take your flathead. You can see that there's a groove across there, and you just pop this out. Careful, there's a spring in here, so don't let that go flying. So then you just have this little brass cap thing. Here's your actual resistor, which for us should be a 5 kilo ohm resistor on this bike. And then there's also a spring up in there, which you may or may not be able to see. I'm gonna test these two things first before I go pulling the spring out. But if we have to, the spring can also corrode and cause your open circuit. So basically how this works, to my understanding, your spark plug wire touches this little connection. That connection is connected to this spring. The spring can corrode even though these are supposed to be sealed. The spring connects to the back of the resistor of whatever size is specified for your bike. And then the other side of the resistor attaches to the back of this little brass piece. And then your spark plug, if you have this style of spark plug, like a stud style rather than a nut style, that snaps up into there. And that's how you get your spec. That's how you're supposed to, for us, have 4.67 or 5 kiloohms. So now we're just gonna, we're gonna throw the multimeter. We're gonna flip the multimeter back on. And we're gonna test. You can't see that. Can you see that? Yes, we're gonna test this resistor. That looks about perfect. It's supposed to be a 5 kiloohm resistor. We're getting 4.83 kiloohms. I'd say that's probably good. Okay, so the resistor's good. That's good news. This looks pretty dirty and nasty. And I wonder if this was not making connection with the back of our resistor. You can see how gross that is. So, whoa. Man, this would be better on this towel. There we go. Wow. Yeah, you can see the multimeter just all over the place. This is just two ends of a piece of brass. I mean, this should be almost zero resistance. And it's an open circuit. Well, yeah, open circuit. So that's actually good news. I think that's probably our problem. So what I'm gonna do is just go pop this on a wire wheel and clean it up. And then I'm gonna do that same test again, and we'll see what happens. All right, again, this isn't a tutorial, so to speak. We'll call it a how-to. This is what we're doing, or I'm doing, or what my brother and I are doing if you're familiar with the channel. So I'm just going to grab this with a pair of channel locks. And keep in mind this is brass, and it's pretty soft, and you're using steel on it. I think I have a brass wheel, or I think we have a brass wheel on here. So I'm not too worried about that. You can see that it used to look kind of gold. I don't know, that might be steel, who knows. Either way, just be mindful. Don't like smash your threads with your channel locks or anything. We're just going to clean it up a little bit. That's the plan. Alright, so here's what we're left with after a little bit of wire wheeling. I think you'd agree that that looks much more promising. I'd bet you that we will now read very close to zero resistance. Turn on our meter. Grab this thing. 0.54 ohms, 0.5 ohms. That's a little better than open circuit and however many mega ohms we were showing before. So there you go. That was our problem. So now, once I put this spark plug cap back together, we'll test it again, which really takes no time at all, so maybe I'll just go ahead and keep rolling this. So it's this guy. All you gotta do is put your resistor back in there. We know it's good. Make sure that looks nice and happy. And again, remember you're gonna kind of be fighting a spring, so try not to launch it across the shop. Make sure not to cross thread this. The threads are pretty coarse, so it's not too difficult to get started. There you go. I'm gonna run and grab a better flathead. Okay, snug this back down. voila. This clip, I don't know if this is specific to this bike or not, but you can see that one side is straight. That goes into, hopefully you can see that one side is cut out. You can see that the straight side goes in that notch. And it just slips right in for you. At least it should. I say that, and then I can't get it. Okay. Here we go. Slip that in that side, get your little 5-head, pop it out to the side. And I really am making this more difficult than it needs to be. There we go. And you're in. Going good. How's Andrew checking in, seeing how it's going? So now, let's check this. Again, just gonna stab that side, and then stab this side. And look at that, 4.81 kiloohms. Perfect. So that's how we got spark back. Now I'm just gonna do that to the other 4 and we're ready to rock. Alright, so as you guys saw, this spark plug cap went from open circuit to 4.7, 4.8 kiloohms. So it's perfect now. And again, we are not professionals. This is not a tutorial, so to speak. This is just how we did it, how to do what we did. How about we call it that? And this worked for us. So we went from open circuit, having no spark, and we have thrown these back on the bike. We do have spark now. So as you can see, right back in spec, everything's hunky-dory. Maybe this will be an episode of its own. Maybe this will show up in an episode of Project Frankenchop, which if you haven't seen and you're interested, please check it out. We'd appreciate it. And hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this isn't a long video, and hopefully someone learns something or gets something from this. So thank you, rock and roll. We'll catch you in the next one.
It has been a blast. We appreciate you watching.
Yes, as always. And if you want to support the channel, feel free to give us a subscribe.
Right here.
And if you want to see more of the project we worked on today,
Move it over here.
and if you want to see any of the other ill-guided automotive antics on the channel,
Click his gut.
or potentially here.
Right over his face.
Thank you guys as always for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.